Hi guys, welcome back to the home and homestead. Today we will be doing some fall garlic planting and we will be preparing a space to make a perennial garlic raised bed. So what we have here in front of us is, if you watched my earlier videos on how to build a raised bed and companion planting, I had garlic, leeks, green onions, and rhubarbs in these 3 raised beds that are at the end of our vegetable garden. And I have since removed the rhubarbs. They're doing fantastic in a different area of the yard, which I will show later for a bonus update on our raised beds. So I removed the rhubarb plants and we had harvested the leeks and green onions, and what was remaining was the garlic that I had planted. So garlic is actually a perennial, and I had planted the garlic cloves in the spring. And now we are in fall and we've had a number of hard frosts. We had some early frost this year in the fall, and what I ended up doing was I removed the garlic from all 3 beds and I transplanted them into this singular raised bed here, and I'm going to make this into a perennial garlic raised bed. I can show you what some of the garlic cloves that I left in the ground all spring and summer, and now we're into the fall and they're starting to go through the process of vernalization, or creating multiple cloves from a single clove. Here are some that I dug out of the ground to transplant. You can see it looks very much like a green onion as it grows early in its process, but if you look closer you can tell that's a garlic clove, and they definitely smell like garlic. So basically I created an abundance of seed garlic for planting in the fall from the garlic that I planted in the spring, and I'm taking advantage of the perennial nature of garlic in order to do so. So let's get these garlic cloves and clusters into the ground where they will be over the winter. Hopefully in late summer I can harvest some and have some nice garlic clusters for cooking and preserving, and I'll also leave some in the ground in order to help establish this perennial raised garlic bed. Alright, so this raised bed is all planted and transplanted with the garlic for the fall planting. And now the cold weather in the environment will cue the plants to promote the transition from vegetative to reproductive growth, and that response is called vernalization. So for the garlic, the cold weather and the hard frosts and things like that will stimulate it to create the multiple cloves like you see in the bunches that you can purchase from the store. And I was able to take some of the larger clusters of more established sized cloves that I just showed you, and I was able to separate some of those apart, and so that each one of those will be a nice garlic plant to create its own new cluster. And then if they were kind of small and very immature looking, I kept them in their little clusters so that I didn't damage their delicate root system and structure. So throughout this raised bed we have some nice singular large cloves, as well as these smaller clusters of the finer garlic plants. So now we'll let these garlic be. We have straw and leaf mulch on top. I can add a little more leaves as the fall season continues, and hopefully in the spring and summer we'll have some to harvest and some to keep for seed garlic moving forward as well. So now what we can do, let's go take a peek at the other raised planting areas on our property. So here are the raised beds that we companion planted with green onions. Asparagus were in the middle and the strawberries were to the back. And the strawberry plants have really taken off. They have a number of these shoots, and at the end of each one is another plant starting out. So strawberries are perennials and they'll keep growing and thickening their plant foliage, and more plants will sprout up from there as well. And then these green onions, I really like this variety. I will probably just do this variety moving forward. They are the parade bunching. They have grown fantastic, and I stagger planted them, so I can probably harvest the rest of these today. But they have grown very well. They're high yield, they look really nice, and they taste wonderful. So they're a nice firm and high yield green onion. Okay, let's go take a peek at the final area that we companion planted together this year. So here's the final area, and since it is fall, the rhubarb looks kind of sad, but this is what it looks like in the fall and over winter. You should leave about 1/3 to 1/4 of the plant so that it can continue to provide nutrients to itself. So I have harvested, and this is what's remaining. So we have three distinctive rhubarb plants here that you can see, and then there are a few much smaller ones you can't see as well to the foreground as well. So the rhubarb has done very well in this new planting area, which is why I removed the plants from the raised beds that we started with today, and this will be the designated area for rhubarb. And then if you can see to the back, there's still some asparagus ferns there. So all along the back rock line we have asparagus, and that seems to be doing well there as well. So hopefully next year when they pop up in the spring, we'll be able to get some edible asparagus, since I transplanted them all from our garden this spring. Well, I hope you enjoyed our time together in the yard while we did a little fall gardening as we transplanted and planted fall garlic while establishing a perennial garlic raised bed. So check back in the spring. I'll be doing some more companion planting in these 3 raised garden beds. But I'll be doing a little different technique next year. So you can check out what combinations I go with and how I plant them spring planting again. Well, I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.